Visited my cousin's fiancé about the wedding plans and was told to lose my glasses or be removed as Mo. I, 19F, cousin, 23F, is getting married in a couple of weeks. I am my cousin's Mo in her wedding. We have grown up together and have been through hell and back together. She is like a big sister I have never had. When I was in 3rd grade I started wearing glasses because I couldn't see far. She was the first person to tell me I looked beautiful in them, because I was insecure about how I looked in them, and that we can match because she wears glasses as well. Well, fast forward to today, I went over to my cousin's and her soon-be wife, 25F, house to talk about last-minute preparation of the wedding and all the fun stuff. When we started talking about pictures of the wedding, and this is where Jordan, my cousin's fiancé, told me that I should take off my glasses for the wedding and wear contacts because she doesn't want them to ruin her wedding photos and that I would look like an outcast. All of attention would be drawn to me if I'm the only one wearing glasses. To say I was shocked was understatement. I always been used to my glasses and I never took them off. I personally don't want to use contacts because it's so much work and I am a forgetful person and might end up sleeping with them on or something like that. I told Jordan that I wouldn't be comfortable with it and that contacts cost money since I have to get them in my prescription, which would take a while, as well as I much rather wear my glasses because I'm more comfortable with them on. She told me I'm being unreasonable and that my cousin is wearing contacts for the wedding, so I should be a good cousin and not ruin the wedding pictures. If not, she will tell my cousin to remove me from the wedding and I can attend as a guest. My heart kinda broke when she said that to me. I know my cousin wouldn't care if I wore my glass, so I'm here asking strangers for advice. Would I be the asshole if I don't wear contacts for my cousin wedding? And should I tell my cousin about this conversation with Jordan? BTW, my cousin wasn't in the room when this conversation happened. She went to buy some food for us. Please help me out, thank you. Smile edit. Hello everyone. I didn't think this post would get as much attention, but I wanted to clear some things up in this one. This seems to be the biggest as I read the comments. Yes, it's for the wedding pictures. I told Jordan, as many of you mentioned, I can just simply take them off for the photos. Sorry for not stating that in the post earlier, but she told me no, that I need to buy and wear contacts or else she would tell me cousin to drop me. She said it would throw everything off if people see me without glasses in the photos and then they see me with them on in the wedding, and it wouldn't look natural too. Some people think it's my cousin telling me this, it's not. She wasn't present when this conversation happened. My cousin also wears glasses and the only reason she not wearing them in her wedding is because Jordan convinced her to buy contacts so she can look more natural for the wedding. 3. This last one, guys, I'm not trying to ruin my cousin relationship. Before this, Jordan was nice with me and my cousin seems deeply in love with her. I could never imagine doing that to my own cousin. Ever since the day when my cousin asked me to be her Mo, that's when things started to become a little different between me and Jordan, but I always thought it's because the stress of planning a wedding takes a toll on you. I can answer any questions you guys have in the comments. Thank you so much. Smile update 1. So on Saturday my cousin called me saying she wanted to talk to me about something. I figured that would be a good time to tell her everything that went down with Jordan, so we met at a park next to our grandparents' house, and when I got there she was already waiting for me, but the vibe and energy seemed off. It was tense. I sat down in front of her. No one said a word for like 30 seconds, but it felt like forever. Then my cousin finally spoke with tears running down her face, asking me why I wanted to drop out of the wedding and no longer be her Mo. I was completely taken back by what she just told me. I never once said I would drop out of the wedding nor say I no longer wanted to be her Mo. As I was processing, she kept asking me questions of, do I not love her? What did she do? Why do I not want to be in the wedding? Why did I miss all of the wedding events her and Jordan planned? Do I no longer value the relationship we have and the stuff we went through? After 5 minutes of calming her down, I explained that I never once said that I'm dropping out of the wedding and that I do love her and value everything we went through. So to explain how close we are, with permission, I want to give you some examples. My cousin was the first person who helped me recover and move on from my toxic/abusive ex I was with for 3 years. She never once left my side, and I was the one who found my cousin after she tried to overdose. I spent every day in that hospital until she got better and was with her through her treatments and therapy sessions. As I was explaining all that to her, I started crying because why would she think that after everything we've been through? And she told me that Jordan was the one who told her. I said I no longer wanted to be in the wedding, and at all the events they had I always said I was busy. I looked at her confused, cause what events is she talking about? My cousin saw my face and started to realize I did not know what she was talking about. She started talking about a barbecue and a weekend trip to Arizona. The whole wedding party went one last month. I told my cousin I didn't know anything about this and I never got invited to it. I thought Jordan invited you? I never once got an invite or message about any of this. I proceed to show my cousin my message with Jordan in the group chat of the wedding party, and nothing was there about the trip or dropping out of the wedding. My cousin was shocked and started asking more questions like, you didn't tell Jordan you wanted out of the wedding? When was the last time you talked to her? Why didn't you get invited? I explained to my cousin the last time I'd spoken to Jordan is when she told me about the contacts. I explained everything to her about how Jordan said if I don't put contacts she will tell her to kick me out of the wedding. As I stated in my original post, I even showed my cousin the post and she was livid. She started going on and on about how Jordan would stop bothering her about getting contacts for the wedding, and when my cousin would ask her why, Jordan would say it won't match the aesthetic to the wedding and would throw everything off. So finally, after weeks and weeks, she broke and got contacts for the wedding. My cousin looked at me and said I could care fucking less if you wear glasses, it's a part of you. Hell, I would think you look weird and fucking unnatural if don't do it. And the fact she said that to you, out of all people, I'm not gonna stand for that. So after talking about an hour she left and I just sat there shocked after everything was said and done. Later that day around 12 a.m. I received a call from Jordan. At first I was confused because she doesn't call me, but I picked up thinking something happened, but nope, it was her crying and screaming at me because I'm ruining her wedding and am being a selfish little bitch. After a minute of that I just hung up, then 5 minutes later got a text from my cousin to go over their house now. Once I got to house, it was a mess, stuff thrown on the floor, painting broken, dog toys all over the floor, glass everywhere. It looked like a tornado and an earthquake double teamed the house. But anyways, I walked into where my cousin and Jordan are sitting, and Jordan and just crying and screaming. Once she saw me, she started yelling at me and calling me every name in the book. My cousin had to tell Jordan to shut the fuck up, and once she did, everything came out in the open. Basically, Jordan doesn't like me and hates that me and my cousin are so close. She been telling lies to my cousin about me to get her to hate me, as well as try to take my cousin from the family so she can have her to herself. To which Jordan yelled out, "How the fuck am I supposed to know you don't like her or fuck her? No cousins are that close." To which my cousin said, "This ain't fucking Alabama, you crazy bitch. She my cousin, we grew up together, you fucking idiot. She was there when I was dying. Where the fuck was you? Just because you have a fucked family doesn't mean we do." After that the night was blur. I was extremely tired and just wanted to go home. My cousin came with me and she been staying since that night. Jordan had been blowing up my and her phone asking for forgiveness and to give her a second chance and wants to make things right, but I told my cousin if she wants to go through with the wedding it's up to her. Cousin, I know she loves her. They've been together for 4 years now, so I know it can be hard leaving someone you gave your heart to. I'm so sorry for the long update, but that's what's been happening. Thank you to everyone who gave me advice and helped me realize that I wasn't being dramatic or overthinking, and it was more of a deeper issue. If anything else happen I will update again, hopefully not, but we will see again. Thank you for reading and commenting. She should never speak to her again for her own safety. Mental Woodpecker 300. This right here. Jordan destroying the house on a rampage is a huge red flag and shouldn't be overlooked. People like that don't usually stick to just objects. She could end up getting violent with Op's cousin. Oop, good morning. Jordan was the one throwing the things and made the mess in the house when my cousin tried to leave. That's why my cousin called me to come over in case it got to a point where she couldn't calm her down after ever. Why thing came out anything we said. Jordan got more irritated, so that's why I took my cousin to my place and she has been staying with me. Update 2. It's been a long few weeks, good and bad, so I decided to give y'all another update. Staring of with the bad. A few days after my last update, Jordan's family and friends had been blowing up my phone, my cousin's phone, and just everyone they can reach had been contacted by Jordan. It went as far stalking and breaking into my cousin's house. You see, the house my cousin owns is one out of many houses my grandfather has built from top to bottom. He gifted my cousin house to her because she was the first one to graduate college in the family, so her name is on everything. So my cousin ended up kicking Jordan out of the house. It caused her to go completely crazy, screaming, crying, things being thrown, threats, anything you can think of. It was bad. Eventually my cousin had to call Jordan's parents and siblings to come get her cause she was refusing to leave as they came and was packing her stuff up. Her mother tried reasoning with her, telling my cousin that she taking things too far, she doesn't need to kick out she daughter, and that our family will pay for hurting her daughter, etc., etc. After hours and majority of Jordan things being out of the house, she looked my cousin in the face and said, "Me and you are not over. This ain't over until I say it's over." This caused my cousin to change locks, get security cameras all over the house. Once everything settled, my cousin slowly is getting back into her life. She changed her number because Jordan would send text from begging and pleading to threatening and harassment. As those continued, my cousin found 2 air tags in her car which was not there before, so my cousin asked me to check my car as well, and sure enough I also had 2 air tags in my car. As a joke we decided to put the air tags on some stray animals. It's bad, I know, but we didn't know what else to do, which we thought was the end of it. Boo. Jordan has tried everything to get my cousin back. She went as far as trying to break into my cousin's house when all of our cousins took a trip to Canada, which led to my cousin getting a restraining order. Even with all of this, we still have some positive light going on. Let's move on to the positive. So I'm in Tia now, and my brother and his girlfriend had a baby, so I have been helping around with the baby and just setting into my role as a Tia now. I feel old, and guess what? A wedding did happen. No, it wasn't my cousin and Jordan, it was my grandparents. They renewed their vows to each other on Friday, which happened to be their wedding anniversary. My cousin decided to give everything to them because it was already paid for, so all she had to was get the names changed, and since she had all of our family fly out from Mexico and different states, she didn't want to waste it. It was really nice. My grandma wore her wedding dress that she first got married to my grandfather, and it was a beautiful ceremony, lots of tears, all of that, and of course a lot of partying after drinking and just spending time with family, which was needed. Me and my cousin got closer. I have been there since all of this has happened, but I won't lie, I can't help the fact I feel responsible with all of this, and I also feel so guilty and bad because my cousin loves and still loves her even with everything going on. She was so happy with her, the way she smiled, and look, when she was with her it hurts to know my cousin puts on a brave face when deep down I know she's sad. Like I said, I never wanted this to be a personal issues. I never thought a little thing over glasses and contacts would uncover so much. My cousin tells me I helped her dodge a major bullet, cause who knows what would have happened if they got married, cause if Jordan was acting like this, imagine how she would have been if they got married. Like my Tia, aunt, told me everything happens for a reason, so God mad all this was a reason to show my cousin Jordan wasn't the one. In the end everything is slowly getting better and we enjoying the new baby around. He is so adorable. I'm so sorry if all of my posts have been long. Everything will get better, and my cousin says thank you for all the advice you have given her and she will use it when she starts dating again. Not soon, she said. Now on to second story. Found out that my fiancé and his friends assaulted his childhood friend during his bachelor party, and now I'm canceling our wedding. I don't know what to do. My, F28, finance, 28 male, Alex has a BFF, Danny 28, since they were 4. She's not like the usual Reddit BFF. She's a lovely sweet person who has never crossed boundaries with Alex or their 2 other friends Marcus and Daniel. The 4 are very close. Danny is gay and always was. She is very much a woman but likes to dress in jeans and t-shirts and not in any feminine clothing. She is lean, tall, has short hair and is just one of the boys in a lot of ways. This weekend was Alex's bachelor party. All 4 plus 2 other of Alex's friends went along. It was to a coastal town that's well known for hosting bachelor and bachelorette parties, but there's no strip club or anything. They stayed in a B&B and have scuba diving and kayaking planned. First night went okay, dinner, restaurant and nightclub and home. Last night was the issue. They did the nightclub and headed back to the house. Marcus and Daniel, who are both single, brought back 2 girls from the nightclub and got busy in their bedrooms. The rest were drinking in the living room, but things got a bit loud and the 2 friends started complaining that they didn't get to go to a strip club and never got to see TTS and ass. They were blaming their wives and calling them names. Danny told them to shush as it was ruining the mood, and they both thought it would be funny if they saw Danny's body naked to make up for it. The thing is, Alex joined in and they stripped her. She was screaming loudly and Marcus and Daniel came running and rescued Danny and put her in the bedroom with the girls and had a fight with the 3 men. Daniel doesn't drink due to a chronic medical condition and the medication he is on. So they packed up and took Danny and the 2 girls and left the other 3. Danny was hysterical and Marcus wanted her to go to the police, but she wouldn't. She was afraid to go home, so they ended up dropping the girls off and taking Danny to her parents, which was an hour away. Marcus was at my door at 7 a.m. this morning and he told me what happened, that if he ever sees Alex again he's afraid of how things could go. He told me that if he can convince Danny to press charges he will. Then he left. Alex returned about 3 this afternoon. He was a-ting normally until I told him Marcus has visited. He was very nervous and tried to play down what happened as a joke that got out of hand. I'm devastated. I heard him out, but he knew I wasn't accepting what he was saying. I told him Danny may be going to the police and he got very panicked and pale. He said she had him blocked and he wanted to go talk to her. I told him she wasn't at her place as she was too afraid he or his buddies would turn up there. I asked him to leave and he didn't want to go, but I insisted. He was crying, saying it was a prank that got out of hand. I heard him out only as a courtesy to our 2-year relationship, but I'm done. I don't know this man. I don't know if I should reach out to Danny or just do nothing. Marcus and I have been in constant contact and he agrees that I have no option but to end things. I don't know where to start with canceling everything, as the wedding was in 5 weeks, but it seems trivial compared to what Danny is going through right now. Marcus is convinced that Danny is going to the police after talking to her parents, so I think Alex is in trouble. I can't support him on this. Maybe I'm wrong, as he was drunk and probably had taken other things, but this was his friend from age 4 and he did this to her. I've not blocked Alex, but I've not replied or picked up any of his calls. Update 1. It's been a terrible day. I can't reach out to my friends yet as I'm ashamed. I did tell my parents and my brother and they have been wonderful. My brother brought his friend with him when he came to stay, and today both of them packed up every bit of my ex's stuff and took it to his parents' house. Ex was there and just asked if that meant I was finished with him, and my brother said yes, and did he really expect any other reaction? His father intervened and told Ex not to say anything more. He told my brother to tell me to contact him on canceling the wedding. I'm not contacting his father ever. My parents are handling canceling the wedding, and my father got into my cousin who is a lawyer and he is going to help and advise me as needed. I've to disentangle myself from X on Lisa's bank account savings and such, although my brother made me transfer all of my money from joint account savings and daily accounts to my own account. It's a mess. I tried to ring Danny, but she isn't up for speaking to anyone, so I just text her that I was there for her and that I had broken up with Alex. She hasn't replied and I don't expect she will. She's in a bad way apparently. Daniel spent 3 hours with me today. There's a lot going on, but I'm afraid to say too much for fear of damaging any court case. Just to say, there are 2 videos of the incident. One by Jeb, one of the 2 friends. A lot of it is chaotic, but the last part is clear and telling apparently. The owners of the rental house apparently have gotten involved and have footage, but I can't say more. When Marcus left me, he went to both those guys' wives and told them what happened. Jeb's wife has been very helpful apparently, and she has split from him. The other guy's wife too has left him. Things are going how most of you want them to go, that's all I will say. Well, I will add it was worse than what Marcus shared. Daniel told me that before Danny found her style she had long hair and dressed feminine and was stunningly beautiful, and all 3 of them were in love with her as teens. Alex took her rejection very personally apparently, and Daniel says he was angry and bitter for a couple of years but hid it from her. The thought he had gotten over it, but Daniel feels this smacks of revenge against her. Scary if this is true. I have and continue to receive hundreds of texts from Alex. He told me his father told him to stop texting me, but he can't. I haven't replied or blocked based on advice. This is very hard and I don't know what way all this is going to end up. Sorry about any mistakes and typos, I'm not doing well. If there's more I will post again if I'm able. Update 2. I got a call from Danny. Daniel has been ever present and I'm guessing it was because he knew she was going to call. There's a lot more to the story. The first night was normal as I said, but in the Saturday Alex, Jeb and their friend decided not to go scuba diving with Danny, Daniel and Marcus. Danny was feeling very hungover and gave up after an hour and went back to the Airbnb. She walked into the living room to find all three guys engaging in sexual acts with two women. Jeb shouted at her to get out as this was costing them a fortune. The women were escorts. She left and went back to the boat and only told Marcus what she saw. When they all went back later, Alex told her to not tell me as it was just his last bit of freedom. She told him she was disgusted with him and that he wasn't free. She told him she would have to think about what to do. Marcus convinced her to stay another night as he and Daniel had met the two girls the night before and were seeing them again that night, and if Danny wanted to leave then Daniel would have to take her as he was her ride and there wasn't public transport in the tiny town. So Alex cheated as did the other two. Marcus told their wives that morning but not me. He was going to do it in stages as he knew I was in shock. The actual assault went further than Marcus told me also. And while Alex hadn't actually done anything beyond pulling off her clothes, unlike the other two, he stood by and watched and did nothing to help her. She said she thought he had taken shrooms earlier but couldn't be sure. Marcus and Daniel did rescue her but things had already escalated. She went to the police immediately she got to her parents. The Airbnb owners had also gone independently when they saw the footage. All three men are facing the consequences of their actions. Danny told me she was sorry she didn't leave tell me immediately like she wanted to do. She is very distraught still. I didn't want to make things worse for her. I don't think I am needed for any legal proceedings, so I finally blocked Alex and his parents. The wedding is cancelled. And I'm just starting to disentangle myself from Alex on bank accounts and such. Here's my issue. I'm feeling very angry towards Marcus. It feels like he didn't really care about me. He stopped Danny from telling me so he could continue to shack up with the girl he met. He apparently feels guilty because if they had left, Danny would not have been attacked. He didn't do me the courtesy of telling me that Alex cheated that morning like he did with the other two wives. It's not like he was sparing my feelings because my ex assaulting another woman was a pretty damn bad thing to hear. He didn't tell me the full extent of the attack. Danny is still unsure if Alex wasn't just waiting his turn or all he was going to do was watch. I should have been told that ASAP. And not from Danny because the conversation was incredibly difficult for her. Daniel didn't know about the escorts at all and didn't know Marcus hasn't shared the full story of what they saw when they burst in. Daniel has been my rock. I need some perspective here. Is it okay to be angry at Marcus? Is it misplaced anger? I'm pretty angry at Alex though, and that's all I feel towards him. Can anyone give me a different perspective I'm missing? Marcus and I had been in constant contact. He's already back at work, so it was messages/texts and occasional calls. He actually visited last night, but I didn't open the door to him. Daniel is saying whatever I feel right now is okay. But I think he's just placating me. I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't have to have any more contact with Alex and think the case will move along without me. I'm thinking of telling Daniel that I need a break from him and Marcus and that group of friends. Danny and I have said we will stay in touch, but I can't see us being very close. My best friend who I finally confided in thinks I should just step away from them all now for good and try to move forward. My parents agree and think it's necessary for healing. My brother thinks Daniel has been nothing but great and I shouldn't cut him off. But they all seem to be a package deal, but without Alex now obviously. So I think it's probably all or nothing. What should I do? I don't want to be ungrateful, but a clean break feels right.